Hi, welcome to my video. This is War Machine, and I'm going to bring a little bit of some news here about some MMO games here. So, in about, for me, in about 4.5 hours, um, Fantasy Star 2, Fantasy Star Online 2, New Genesis, is basically going to get released. It's going to be out of the maintenance mode, and it's going to get released, and um, I was gonna take a nap and basically you know sleep a little bit and you can get ready for going going on to New Genesis for the first time. Um, like not the beta, but like the first time the official release after the update and everything. It's very exciting times because Fantasy Star Online 2 hadn't really had anything like majorly changed like the game core itself since 2012 when it first got released. So this is something big for Fantasy Star Online 2, and having like a nice sort of sandbox and open world, um, kind of like what Guild Wars 2 does. It's gonna be cool with the Fantasy Star stuff, and I'm gonna love that. So I'm very excited for that. Another thing is not to I don't hate World of Warcraft. I like the game. It's a great game, but it's not for me, and I have my reasons why. First of all, I do love the art style of World of Warcraft. I love Warcraft in general. I love the RTS games that I played a lot when I was a kid, especially the first one and the second one are like my favorite two Warcraft games. I like three. Wasn't really my cup of tea. I was more into Diablo 2 at the time, so I kind of just ignored um, Warcraft 3. And also, still hardcore into Diablo 2, I kind of ignored World of Warcraft because I didn't really believe in paying subscription to play a game every month. And that was my main gripe. Now I do that for Final Fantasy 14, but I don't want to criticize. Like I don't want you guys to think I'm a hater on World of Warcraft. I like I like the art style. The only thing I don't like about World of Warcraft really is it's it's the story, and it's not like the game has a good story, but it's not presented to you in a good way. It's really awful, especially if you're not like ever played World of Warcraft. I have played it a bunch of times, but I still don't know what the hell's going on in the game. I get very confused with the story and what's my purpose in this world. And a lot of other hardcore WoW players will be like, "Well, this is this and that." They read the books. They're really hardcore into it. They have to read books to actually understand the game itself, which it should be in the game already. And the beginner mode and training and how to like understand well. They kind of fixed it a little bit with Shadowlands, which I tried, but it still needs a lot of work, and it needs a lot of work with story, and it needs. They lost pretty much all their OG developers for the Warcraft team, so that kind of sucks for Blizzard. And Blizzard is being very rusty. They canceled BlizzCon, and 9.1 will probably be released next month, or if not latest August. But I don't really care. I don't really play World of Warcraft. I am a Final Fantasy 14 guy. I started to play MMO games with Final Fantasy 14. This is my first MMO game, and I started it during Heaven Wars time in 2016. So I've been on the game for pretty much 5 years, roughly. Um, it will be 5 years in October, but I've been playing it for almost 5 years, off and on. I didn't play it 5 years like hardcore, and that was the only game I played. No, I play other games. I take breaks, especially in Stormblood. Stormblood was a very yeah, I took some good breaks, and I lost my house because of taking breaks because I didn't kept my subscription, but I didn't believe to pay it if I'm not playing it. I only pay what I play, right? That's that's how it is. But I don't like that about Square Enix with their system with housing. If you have a house, you lose it after a while because it's like the housing system in Final Fantasy 14 is terrible, and I don't care what people say if it's good or not. If it's good, I think it's terrible. I think it's very terrible. Since I started playing the game, it wasn't too bad, but I seen since starting Stormblood, I noticed housing became a total shit show, and it still is today, and they need to fix that. But I don't care. I got an apartment in my game, so that way, if I do not pay for my subscription and I miss a few days, a few months, not paying anything, I still get I don't lose my apartment, so that's good. So, but still, I like to have a house, and I lost all my items, everything. It's a pretty shitty deal, man. But I still love Final Fantasy 14. It's still my number one game. So yeah, like the whole point of this video is that Final Fantasy 14, as of now, right now standing, it is the top playing MMO game right now, even over World of Warcraft. But that doesn't mean that World of Warcraft will pass it and be top again. Like, I can see it booming up, like when 9.1 goes up. If it's a shitty patch, believe me, it'll go back down again. A lot of WoW players, I feel bad for them because a lot of them play for 15 years. Some of them did, you know what I mean? Like, and just to see their game and the development and the PR that they get back from them, like, which is nothing. They close the curtains. They're like, "Yep, we're not gonna say anything to you guys." No communication. Cancel BlizzCon. Their patch is late. If it comes out in July, good, but it's still late, and that's why the game is losing players. To see World of Warcraft down like 2.1 million people playing, and Final Fantasy like 2.4 or something. I don't know the statistics, but it's a little bit higher. Right now it's above WoW, which is cool, which is pretty good for the Final Fantasy 14 because that game literally had a rough start on 1.0, but it literally resurrected in 2.0, and the game just kept being good. And Shadowbringers really, really, really matured the game a lot better. And I love Shadowbringers. I had a great time, and I'm really excited for Walker, and that's why I'm kind of like, nope. Okay, I gotta stop playing Final Fantasy 14 for a little bit because Endwalker is coming in November, which is winter where I live in Canada. It gets cold in November, so they say fall. To me, I consider that winter. It's almost winter. So I will get to play it a little bit before launch, which is November 19th, because I already pre-order it. Because, yeah, of course, I love that game. But I already pre-order it, so and I got the bonus and all that stuff for it. I will come back for some events. So yeah, I need to get the Final Fantasy 15 car. I don't have it. I need to get that mount. I want that mount, so I'm gonna get that mount. I think I need 200k of MGP, which I don't have, so I probably won't get the mount. I'll see what I can do. I don't know. Maybe the quest will give it to you. I don't know. I'll just go back. I'll try to get it, and I'll see what I can do. I could like play the game and earn my rewards, or try to like do those tickets there, and get some NGP. But I don't know. Right now, I probably will go back eventually in a few weeks, but I'm really excited for Phantasy Star Online 2. I'm going to go all over the place here because there's a lot of news. So Swords of Legend Online Beta 2 has ended yesterday, and so that's the beta's done. So after this, the game's going to get released. I don't know when, but hopefully it gets released soon, because once the hype dies off, I don't think people are really gonna give a shit about the game. Especially that it's a good game. Don't get me wrong. I actually had a good time with Swords of Legend Online, and I really like it. But a game like Phantasy Star Online New Genesis, free to play, and it's very fair game. It doesn't really have a bad cash shop. It's not pay to win, and it's a very good game. So for a free to play model game, I think Fantasy Star, which is a very good theme and good story, and it's very anime, and it's kind of like Final Fantasy 14. Like they kind of share very similarities. When you start off the game, you have a sprout, just like Final Fantasy 14. So they got some similarities, but they're totally different gameplay. Because it's action based for Fantasy Star Online 2, New Genesis, or just Final Fantasy Online 2. I should say New Genesis, because I don't think people are going to play PSO2 anymore. They're going to play New Genesis, and pretty much I don't blame them, because that's what I'm excited for as well. Yeah, I'm very, like, it's action combat, and it's fucking awesome. I was playing a little bit of Guild Wars 2, which I love, and I'm just like, fuck, I want to play New Genesis. Like, I'm really excited for that right now, and I got about, yeah, a few hours to wait, so I'll probably just fucking drown my brain with YouTube videos, and by the time I start playing it, when it gets pretty much launched and released, and the servers go live, I think I'm going to be half asleep. But I'll still probably play it for a few hours and then get some sleep, because I gotta work tonight. Yeah, tonight, like later on tonight. So I can probably play till noon and go to bed, and maybe get 6 hours of sleep. I'll be all right. But I know definitely after work tomorrow, I will basically jump on that game. I'm gonna have some fun with this. Like, the game looks really good. I never played it, but it looks really good. Like, I love Fantasy Star Online, and it just looks really good. If you ever played like the old school, like Fantasy Star Online, the original, and just see how it evolved with PSO2, and then now New Genesis. Like, yeah, this is freaking awesome, and I'm very. There's only like a few people that are kind of interested in this game that I talk to in gaming communities, but it doesn't seem like much people are interested in it. Maybe because it's an anime style games, and North American people are more into Elder Scrolls and Lords of the Rings and all this British stuff, British style themes. I like more anime. Anime is pretty cool because it has a very like creative artwork to it. It's very creative in a way that they create things that it does not really exist. You know, it's something that kind of exists, but they kind of like change it up to make it very like either futuristic or very like different or unique. And I like those sort of innovation in anime style, and especially in Japanese games. They have a lot of cool style in games. And that's why I play a lot of Japanese games. Like, I just, it's not because I'm a weeb, but I'm sure people will call me a weeb, because I do play Samurai on Final Fantasy 14, and I also I'm gonna be playing Reaper. I like Dragoon as well. That's one of my favorite, another favorite class I like to play, but I kind of like a bit better Samurai, just because it's a very selfish melee DPS. Like, you don't have to freaking deal with anybody. You just fucking hack and slash. And I kind of like that. Not that I'm a selfish person or anything. I just like to be selfish. I like to be a selfish DPS, kind of like a black mage, and like to do damage. So I like black mage too as well. But I got kind of bored of playing caster. I play caster a lot. I used to play red mage a lot and heal a lot as well. But Samurai is my jam. As of now, it's my top rank. Right now it's eye level 520, so it's pretty good. Yeah, so I'm really happy for Final Fantasy 14. It is a pretty good day that, you know, we are the king right now as this moment, but it'll probably go away, you know, and we all know that. We're not here to say F you to WoW. Well, in a way, because, you know, Final Fantasy 14 does deserve more credit than it really gets. It does. Like, people give WoW a lot more credit for a shitty development team, bad PR, and just community management is terrible. I love Blizzard games. Okay, I'm not like just because I play Final Fantasy and you think I'm a fucking weeb, it doesn't fucking matter. I love Blizzard games. I grew up with Blizzard games. Like my first PC game was Warcraft 1. I mean, like literally at my house, like buy Warcraft 1. That was the game that like I played out of different shitty, stupid computer games in the past. But like the one that I remember, the one that I stick to, and the one that I spent many hours as a kid playing Warcraft 1, that game, seeing that Blizzard logo, I just fucking love Blizzard. Blizzard was awesome back then. And North Blizzard, Diablo 2, Diablo 1, fucking love those games, man. Those are like I love Doom, I love Wolfenstein and Duke Nukem. Now, don't get me wrong, I play all these games. I'm kind of old school, but I fucking love Diablo. Diablo really changed my life, man. When it comes to RPG and just fast-paced, real-time action, that's fucking awesome. Just isometric, just hack and slash, getting loot. Oh, fuck, man. Diablo 2 is still the great game. I'm actually thinking I'm gonna fucking install Diablo 2 and play that. The OG version, which is probably gonna get erased once the Resurrected gets released. So I should probably enjoy the original Diablo 2 until they really completely killed it, like they did with Warcraft 3. What else? So, like, yeah, it's good for Final Fantasy 14, and they do deserve more credit because, like, they got a good team. They're like Square Enix is awesome. I love all Square Enix games. I also grew up with the consoles, with Nintendo, with PlayStation, and I play Final Fantasy 1, I play Final Fantasy 2, I play Final Fantasy 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and all the fucking name ones. Like Explorer, like World of Final Fantasy, Crisis Core. I played them all. I'm a freaking huge Final Fantasy fan. I love Final Fantasy fan just as much as I love my Blizzard games like Diablo and Warcraft. But I just think Blizzard really went down straight downhill once Activision acquired Blizzard. And people are all going to say it. It just went to shit. And it's getting to the point where World of Warcraft it's shown its age. And Blizzard don't give a fuck about it. They don't give a fuck about WoW. The hardcore WoW players say that the developers do not give a shit about the player base, which is really sad because they have a good game. They can fix the game. They can focus on how to make the game good, how to balance all their classes, how to make the system better in the game, and introduce newer systems. Maybe copy a bit from Final Fantasy 14, which they got some good benefits that would work good and well as well, especially story. Okay, if people play games not for the story, well, then go play shooting games, or you know what I mean. Like if you're gonna play an RPG game, it's called role playing. What does role playing means? Role playing games. It's a game with a story. And World of Warcraft don't have a fucking story. It has a wall of text, and like most people don't even fucking read it and don't understand what's going on unless they read the book. I'm glad Final Fantasy 14 has a great story. I'm glad it shows me where I go. I'm glad it makes my one character that can be every single job and make me feel rewarded, make me feel a part of the story, makes me feel, a part of the game. You're part of something. And it's just a really good MMO game with a very JRPG experience, especially in the story division. And it's just purely Square Enix greatest, like Final Fantasy. Like Final Fantasy 14 is the best Final Fantasy game ever made, the best MMO game ever made. And I don't care, you might think I'm a fanboy, but I know games, I play games, I have good taste. And Final Fantasy 14 is my all-time favorite game, all time, and hands down. I probably played over 5,000 hours of that game or more. So far, there's going to be more hours put into that when Endwalker comes. So yeah, I'm definitely going to be showing that, and I'm also going to be doing a video, me recording Fantasy Star, um, New Genesis. I'm going to be recording my first impression and me first time playing it. When it I'm actually going to jump in before I even log into the server, just to show you guys day one, New Genesis. Well, anyway, thanks for the watch. And until next time, I'll bring a little bit more news about MMO games. This is just something I wanted to bring out. Is mostly um, what I've been watching, all these reaction videos with Asmongold and you know, those Irish dudes, Matt and Beldar or whatever his name is, Belluar, whatever. Sorry, I don't. No one watches my videos, so it doesn't fucking matter. So yeah, like just watching them like a Warcraft sort of like community, just playing Final Fantasy 14 and saying like this is fucking good. I love seeing that shit. But anyways, yeah, I mean to each their own. But I think Final Fantasy 14 is maturing, and it's evolving, and it's gonna get better. It will get better over the years. And I'm really happy for Square Enix, and good job, guys. Keep up the good work. Cheers.